Hmm. Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. You know what I'm drinking, right? Café Bustelo, instantáneo. Y es bien rico y delicioso. Yeah, you know I love my coffee. And I purposely wanted to open this video with what's written on this mug. Something beautiful is on the horizon. And I believe that. Now, before anything else, right now the date is Tuesday, April 11th, 2017, and the time is approximately 6:13 p.m. Now, so yesterday was the beautiful and powerful and sacred and rich and radiant full moon in Libra. And I especially enjoy the full moon in Libra because, according to one of my favorite magical astrology books, Myth Astrology by Raven Caldera, the deity that claimed the astrological placement moon in Libra is the goddess who is more commonly known as Isis, the ancient Egyptian goddess of magic, witchcraft, psychic powers, healing love, and restorative love. And of course, Osset, one of her ancient Egyptian names, is a full moon goddess. So especially a full moon in Libra is absolutely radiating the energy of the Lady of 10,000 Names, or one of my favorite titles of hers, Lady of Words of Power. The reason I'm doing this video, well, several reasons. So last night I had a lovely conversation with a fellow witch who's one of my clients, and I also was at Catland a few hours ago and I conducted a reading. Very well, if I do say so myself. And one thing that kept coming up in my conversation with my fellow witch and client last night, and with the client with whom to whom I conducted a reading at Catland earlier today, was all the stuff that's happening for people. And when I say stuff, I'm going to be a lot more specific. So there are a lot of challenges, and there are a lot of changes that are taking place for a lot of us right now. And when I say us, I'm referring to humanity in general, but I am specifically referring to those of you who are on a spiritual path, those of you who are on a high spiritual path, or rather those of us who are on a high spiritual path. Also, those of you who are embarking on a new spiritual journey, and those of us who are radiating our light more strongly. And the fact of the matter is that there are people and there are energies who, and I want you to pay very close attention because I'm going to use some very technical terms. They want to fuck with us, okay? They want to fucking fuck with us. Y se tienen que mandar para el casa del carajo. ¿Me entiende? That's the Cuban in me coming out saying, send these motherfuckers to hell. Because they don't want to leave us alone. Why? Because they have way too much time on their hands. You know how I feel about these bitches. And I'm talking about the bad bitches. Wait a minute, hold on. Because one of my favorite people on the planet is Todrick Hall. So, you know, his Straight Outta Oz musical is better than ever. And it's like, are you a good witch or a bad bitch? So I need to specify. Okay, so there are some people that are, they have way too much time on their hands. They are neither good nor bad. They are either evil or they're unconscious. Now, there are certain things that I think would be perfect for waking somebody out of unconsciousness. Unfortunately, if I do them, I will be sent to jail. So I'm not going to do them because I'm going to keep my hands to myself rather than bitch smack somebody who's being a dirty ass. I know I'm getting emotional about this and I'm sorry, but this is a very sensitive issue to me. Because, you know, some people are very nice and they're very sweet, and people just want to fuck with them. And I have an issue with that. And of course, part of it has to do with the telenovela that I'm still watching. It's called Vino el Amor. And the lead female character, Luciana, is very rebelde. You know, she has this powerful energy, and she basically has no tolerance for any kinds of injustices. If somebody is being mistreated, if somebody is being cheated, she's like, pero que tú haces? She's like right there in your face, and she doesn't care. She's fearless like that. I love that about her. I love that she's fearless. And she's really fearless, man, let me tell you. She needs no gun. She could, like, you know, threaten people just by the look in her eyes. So what I want to say to all of you who are experiencing these challenges, I want you to know that my intuition is telling me that these challenges are temporary and they are transitory. They are temporary in that they're not going to last forever. I know they feel like they last forever, but that doesn't mean that they are going to last forever. There is a difference. See, sometimes we feel like some bad shit is going to last forever. It's not going to last forever. Okay? We just act like it does. We feel like it does. That doesn't mean that it's going to last forever. You know, there are some people that could hold a note for a very long time. I could hold a note for a long time. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be holding a note until the end of time. It just means that I'm going to hold this note until I run out of air. And I'm being a bit silly right now, but I want to reassure you that whatever challenges you're experiencing, they are absolutely temporary. And they are transitory. And when I say transitory, what I mean is this. Number one, they are going to take you from where you are to where you need to be, or they're going to take you from where you are now closer to where you need to be. And number two, they are also transformative. They're going to transition you from the gunk that you're experiencing now, if you want to, if you will, the gunk in which you're suffering, to a better place, a higher place, a more evolved place, a more evolved state of being, a more fulfilled state of being, etc. And they're also going to, they have a transmuting quality in that whatever stuff inside of you is holding you back, whatever stuff inside of you is preventing you from being completely fulfilled, completely healed, completely prosperous, completely living in divine joy, then it's going to go. And the one thing that I feel the need to remind all of you about, if you feel any guilt about eliminating people from your life that no longer serve your needs, just get over that. I mean, it's easy. I mean, it's kind of easy for me to say that now, but I will tell you, I used to feel massive amounts of guilt about not wanting to be around certain people anymore because, number one, I didn't like them anymore, you know, and I felt guilty about that. But the reality is that, why do I want to spend time with somebody who doesn't make me feel good, who doesn't help me, who doesn't uplift me, who doesn't serve my needs in any way? I mean, yes, there are people that I love and adore, and I absolutely love and adore them, and there are times I want to smack the shit out of them. Like, I just want to smack, motherfucking smack them. But I don't do that, because again, that's against the law. By the way, I know I keep saying that, but I want to reassure you, I have clients that ask me to check on these things, and I happily do it. There are some things that are still against the law. Murder, assault, aggravated assault, they're still against the law. I checked, I promise you, I checked these things thoroughly. I checked it before I began preparing for this video. So they're still against the law. So if you kill somebody, if you smack somebody, if you use some kind of a weapon to assault or harm somebody, it's gonna get you in jail. I know, because I'm telling you, one of my gay ancestors, Oscar Wilde, he once said, the greatest way to eliminate temptation is to give in to it. And guess what? Mr. Wilde was right. Because, honey, every time every time I've been tempted to eat cheesecake, I eat that cheesecake, that temptation goes this fast. But I have been tempted to smack some people. Do I give in to the temptation? No. And guess what? I still want to smack these bitches. Yes, I do. I dippity do. Really. So, I know I'm being silly. But really, it's like, you know, smacking people is not going to help. Well, no, I disagree. No, I heard a lot of people like, no. Believe me, it'll help. It'll feel, you know what? It'll feel good. But it's not worth it. I know some of you were like, yes, it is. Because if it gets you in jail, it's not worth it. It's not. Nah, I know some of you were like, well, you know, if I don't get caught, that means I got away with it. Yeah, but I have a thing about living in fear, ladies and gentlemen. It's like, no, it's not worth it. I don't want to keep looking over my shoulder until my last breath. No, that's not living. That's something else. I wouldn't call that living. I would call that slowly but surely dying a slow, torturous death. Oh, I'm telling you. I've said this in a recent video, but I'm going to say it again. It is amazing to me how much I used to poo-poo coffee. And especially instant coffee. I used to be like, instant coffee? I'm not gonna drink that shit. I mean, my nose was so stuck up in the air about coffee in general, and instant coffee in particular. It was like, you'd think I'd see God. My nose was so up in the air. Oh, but what if I knew then what I know now? But you know what? That's okay. Because I remember when I was 8. You know, and I remember I used to look at my godmother eating guava paste strips with white cheese, and I thought it was the nastiest thing. I was like, ew, nasty. Let me tell you, if I knew then, if what I knew about guava and cheese now, I knew then, I'd be bigger than a house. Seriously, I'd be bigger than a house. I would be pushing like size 50. I'd be rocking size 50 pants. I would. But man, it's like, and I have cut back on the guayaba queso, but oh my god, that makes me so happy. And now that I've reconnected with my Afro-Cuban heritage, oh yeah, that guayaba queso, baby. Anyway, so here's the other thing that I want to say about what's been happening lately. So right now, there are 4 planets that are retrograding. Now, let me tell you a little bit about a retrograde while I have a few minutes left. So, basically, in Western astrology, retrograde means that a planet looks like it's moving backwards, but it really isn't, because planets do not move backwards. And by the way, in Western astrology, Pluto is still a planet. Pluto has always been a planet in Western astrology. The astronomical people were like, well, let's make it a planet again. I don't know what that's about, but in Western astrology, it did not stop being a planet. Also in Western astrology, the sun and the moon are planets. By the way, the sun and the moon do not retrograde at all. So right now we have a very interesting pairs of planets that are retrograding. So we have Mercury, which rules 2 signs. We have Venus, which rules 2 signs. We have Jupiter, which is the great benefactor of the zodiac. And we have Saturn, which is the great malefactor of the zodiac. So we have 4 planets that are retrograding. Now, some of you may think, oh, that's just like last year. Well, last year we had 5 planets retrograding. So it's not so bad. It's, you know, besides, I find it especially challenging when in the same calendar year, Venus and Mars retrograde. Because make no mistake, Venus and Mars retrograding, that is an automatic guarantee of relationship shakeups, especially romantic relationships. So yeah, I'm not fond of Venus and Mars retrograding at the same time at all. So Mercury is retrograding in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. Venus is retrograding in Aries. Jupiter is retrograding in Libra, which is not only the polar opposite of Aries, but like Taurus, is ruled by Venus. And Saturn is retrograding in Sagittarius. Now, I'm not going to go into the astrological significance of those retrograding planets and sign combinations, because according to the, I forgot what this thing is called, it's like the viewfinder thing. It tells me that I have 5 minutes left, so it's not going to work for me to tell you in 5 minutes, like whatever. But here's what I'm going to say. These 4 planets are currently retrograding now. They're not going to be forever retrograding. And it just so happens that Venus is going to go direct as of April 15th, which is this coming Saturday. I'm like, they're like, where'd he go? I went to look at another calendar. I was actually, in a way, I was being lazy because I didn't want to like just do this to my computer. Click. Yeah, I know, right? I was being lazy looking over there. Go figure. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's temporary, it's transitory. As to what you can do about it, do the best that you can. Pray, meditate, do your rituals, do your spells, and remember your spiritual practices. In fact, you might want to do them even twice as much, or 3 times as much. I don't know, it depends on you. I remember one time I had told a client to affirm in one day, I love and approve of myself 500 times. She thought I was crazy. And I looked at her and I said, so you think that you saying to yourself, I love and approve of myself 500 times is crazy, but you want to spend all of your time and energy thinking that men can't be trusted and life hates you and your life is a piece of shit, and you want to do that more than 100 times a day, but that's not crazy. By the way, that client doesn't use my psychic services anymore, and that's okay. So YouTube, thank you so much for honoring who I am and what I do. Thank you to those of you who have used my psychic services already. Thank you to those of you who are going to use my psychic services, especially after this video. I wish all of you many blessings, much joy, many gifts, many, many miracles, and I'm happy to report that there's going to be another video after this one, which is a continuation, albeit not officially a continuation, of another video that I recently uploaded. But for now, oh, I'm sorry about that. I heard a pop. Some of you, but you know what? That's a good pop, because that means that whatever stuff is still stuck, it's getting popped out of your lives and out of your wallets and out of your bank accounts and out of your offices and out of your workplaces and out of your bodies and out of your minds and out of your souls and out of your relationships. So pop away, ladies and gentlemen, pop away. Thank you, YouTube, and have a good night. Thank you, YouTube, and have a good night.